The last couple of days have been absolutely crazy for crypto holders, with some crazy dips, some crazy price increases. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back to a beautiful green market with Bitcoin this afternoon, I'm gonna call it this evening for me in Dubai here, going back above $100,000 and the future looking magnificent again. Now, as all us veterans know, just a day in the sunshine doesn't mean it's gonna be sunny again tomorrow, but I will tell you that things right now are looking extremely good, especially because we made a live stream a little bit somewhere yesterday, I want to say earlier in the nighttime, and said, you know what? Let's go all in on XRP here. Let's go crazy because it's at $2 or even below $2, slightly before it. And within a snap, it's up 20% from that point since I streamed yesterday, and about 30%, I think, almost from the bottom, which is amazing. Like you can see, we were able to buy the bottom on this account as well. Not perfectly as over on 𝗏𝗏𝗀, but still, nonetheless, pretty damn good. And also, guys, I did not want to completely skew my entry here because it just looks kind of cool. So I only added about 15% or so of the entire position to it. But you can see that right now, as we're back on the go-go, that has given us an extra boost in the profit. As right now, the $1,100 trade is in $33, almost $1,000 worth of profit. We already cashed out slightly over $20,000 on it. As a matter of fact, just scrolling through here, I thought things would start looking way worse than they are. But I mean, even right now, all these positions are still in crazy amounts of profit, except for the WIF trade. But fun fact, it looks way more beautiful over on 𝗏𝗏𝗀 because we were able to buy the bottom of the bottom. So this one is a lot nicer. Right now, again, if we're looking at it, it seems like we are facing a rejection as where we previously had it also. And it might take a little bit of time before we cross the $2.50 threshold. But you can see multiple times we faced some issues at roughly this $2.46 mark. Then again, the trade is still looking juicy as we started this account with only $250. So I'm still satisfied with whatever's happening right now. But this dip made me realize something quite crucial, in my opinion. And that is that a lot of people really can't handle dips well. I looked through the comments and the amount of people asking me, hey, should I sell? Hey, I'm down. Hey, blah, blah, blah. It made me realize multiple things. One of which was a lot of people don't have a proper tactic to dominate a bull market. And if you want to hear my tactic, it's wherever you buy in from, try to buy every so often, let's say, for example, every week, even if it's at the same price or higher. But more importantly, always keep money on the side to add margin to your positions or to buy your way down. I've noticed a lot of people that are trading right now. I keep saying, guys, if you want to also trade, the link is down below to 𝗏𝗏𝗀, as you can use it from anywhere in the world. You might need a VPN, but you can use it from anywhere. But I'm just telling you right here real quick. Some people, they get wrecked only because they use too much leverage all at once. Right? So they want to get the craziest of gains too quickly. They think, oh, you know what? I think XRP is going to go up. So I'm going to do I'm not sure what the max here is, 75x. Whereas if you had used less leverage, yes, your gains are also going to be slightly less, but then you have a little bit more room to wiggle yourself out of. I mean, let me add to that. It's actually completely fine to trade with 100x. If you're, this is the conditions. If you want to trade 100x, you got to be either doing it with very small sizes because you're going to maybe get wrecked 10 times, for example, 20 times before you eventually catch the bottom. But then once you catch it, it could be that you're making 1,000 extra money in a snap, or maybe even 25,000 times your money in a snap. So even if you had to try out, 50 times, 100 times, it might still be worth it. Or you're doing it with a ton of balance, meaning let's say I have $100,000 on my account, and I'm only opening basically a $1,000 trade with 100x. Then even if push comes to shove, I'll be able to handle it because it's just going to take more and more margin. Meaning, if I want to use 100x, I better make sure I have a lot of money on my account to make sure I can take some of that downside before the upside. Or you place a lot of freaking orders on your way down to not get liquidated, because the most important part of this whole trading adventure in a bull market, that is to not get your trades wrecked. Getting a good entry is one, but making sure you can sustain your position is the more important part. I say this every day, a similar story of make sure you buy your way down, but a lot of people, they don't do that part. They just buy once and hope it goes up, but sometimes it don't happen like that. Anyway, right now though, we are back, meaning even though we still got to take out some of the previous high points. I mean, if we're just taking a look at it, right? We still want to take out this previous top at roughly 62 cents, right? I'm gonna just quickly mark it a slightly different color. Let's quickly mark it. Let's do yellow here. just to name an example, we still got to take out this previous top at roughly 62 cents. Why is this such a crucial level? Well, for the most part, it's because as of this point, the price looks like this. Let me just quickly draw it out for you, right? Where you're constantly going down and you keep looking, quote unquote, worse and worse every single time. What you want is for it to look better and better, and that will only happen once you break out of this basically downward sloping structure, right? Once we break out, and just to break out in this case here is not enough. I wanted to make a higher top. So just breaking out here would indeed break this lower highs structure, but actually breaking out here, I don't think it's strong enough. It might just keep bouncing and actually break back down. We want it to go above this previous top so that the structure doesn't look like this, downward sloping, but it starts looking again like this. And if you're wondering about my leverage story from just now, by the way, there's one person who was actually able to buy the freaking bottom on a different exchange. I wouldn't use this if I were you, by the way. That's a side note. But anyway, he was able to buy $1.90 and $1.89 per XRP at 500x and turn his $2,000 into hundreds of thousands, perhaps over $1 million. Now, he 80x his net worth in like 3 hours. But this is how you get wrecked. Don't do this. Period. Don't do it. You might say, yeah, but I can try. Don't do it. The chance of you doing this is so incredibly small. You're most likely going to lose your money hundreds of times, perhaps even 1,000 times before it's going to work, because there's not even 1 cent that it can move. I don't think even half a cent that it can move before you lose all your money. I think maybe just the 1/10 of a cent or so. So this is only for the real professionals, and even then they probably can't do it. So even on places like Blowfin, I think the leverage that you can do is large enough. 50x is more than you'll ever need. And I would recommend, as you know, person to person, to go lower than that so you have more room to breathe. Ultimately, guys, I want you all to be able to sustain your trades, not just have one good one and get lucky. No, you want to take this on for a longer period of time to really make the crazy amounts of profits. To get back to my strategy, though, and my description of what I think is going on, I personally think indeed this was a very heavy leverage flush. No, I'm not so sure if it's over just quite yet. And what I mean with that is I'm not sure that the worst is now behind us and now we go crazy. I mean, looking at the Bitcoin chart, it does look a little bit like it from the perspective that we had a good dip and can now continue on. But we've actually gotten faked out multiple times here. And until we break the previous top, I am not going to be the guy to tell you this was it. This is now where things start moving up. Again, I kept telling you guys, though, as long as we do not have a crazy low bottom, I think we're fine. And even as of this point, I'd say that this right now is slightly lower than we wanted it to see it. But generally speaking, I could say the trend still continues on depending on which exchange you're looking at. Because again, it just broke it by pennies, so to speak. This might just be a little exchange by exchange error, if you get my drift. That generally, this is not a break of the structure of the uptrend that we've seen for a while. And this was the most bullish thing actually when it comes out of all of it. When looking at our breakout chart, this is basically the Bitcoin breakout that we were waiting for with our target at 120,000 plus per Bitcoin. It still looks set, by the way. From the way in which things are going, we're still all set for just a crazy Bitcoin price over the next few weeks, most likely. And man, when taking a look at the altcoin market cap, excluding Ethereum, look at how back we are, but also look at how crazy this bounce was. I mean, we're not back to height levels. Many coins are still down. So if your portfolio still is not looking so juicy as it did a few days ago, understand that the entire market is still down like 10%. But more, I guess better, is that we're up 15% or so from the bottom. And a lot of altcoins are up even way more than that. Even ADA right now is back to what? $1. Whoa, really? Wow. That is wild. So it's up from 90 cents all the way back up to like $1.09. So it's up 25% or so in a day, even for Cardano, and that is just huge. But the point being that this is why I kept saying yesterday as well, just buy the freaking dip like a maniac, man. From a risk-reward perspective, it'll be worth it. Many people don't see it that way. They're like, yeah, but I could lose way more. And I'll keep saying, just because it's gone down 90% doesn't mean it can't go down another 90%. It can always go down further, sure. But looking at it from the broader perspective, that's why I made an emergency stream yesterday where I said, guys, I'm going crazy right now. And why I said a few days before that I'm basically going all in into this whole trading debacle of buying the freaking dip is because I remember back in 2021, if I could right now take my knowledge here, put it back into my 2021 body, the one most important thing I tell myself is don't be afraid of dips, embrace them. Bitcoin right now back to 101,000. At 90,000, we no lower. No, I think at 90. I'm not sure exactly what the price was. Maybe it was that was 99,000, right? So at 99,000, we also went back down all the way to 89,000, so about an 11% move in Bitcoin. But also remember that from 73,000, we went all the way back down to 48. That was a 35% correction over a long period of time. Don't mind you, but this was hard, right? This every day might have looked awful to you. It was a bear market, really. But think back to it. If you just bought right here, I'll draw it. If you bought right there at 71,500, almost the highest point ever. Later on, you bought again at 62,000. That might have, you could have already sold back for profit right there, but let's say you didn't. You could have bought again for 56,000. You could have bought again for, let's say, about 50,000. Then your average price would maybe be right around this level, maybe 56,000 or so. You would have doubled your money in this span, even though you bought the freaking top all the way back there. And that's what I keep saying for these altcoins as well. If you just embrace it and understand that most likely we'll go on like this in a wishy-washy fashion, but mostly up for the next few months, it's just the amount of profit to make is insane. As long as you have a long enough breath, you're able to add more margin when things start crumbling down. So you do not get liquidated on the trades is the most important part. And you don't get afraid. The moment you're like, oh, what if this is over? What if the boring is done? That's most of the time when you start losing real money. But think about it. Think about it. Think about it. If anywhere in the bull run you really got scared last season, that's what you would have lost out on. Because if you just held on, and that's why I put up a couple of tweets saying this is where the men get separated from the boys, basically, to put up the exact tweet. Give me just a second here to find it for y'all. So I made a couple of posts, but basically this, I posted this. I'm ready for whatever happens next because we was expecting another dump to hit. Why? Well, because it was all going a little bit mediocre. Like the push from the bottom was not strong enough, so I expected another round. But then once it started falling like crazy, I put up a post saying this is where we see who really is a believer. And that basically meant, this is where you can see which people get scared and sell the dip versus the people that buy the freaking dip. And then later on, about an hour ago, I posted victory because yes, we right now are victorious. Whoever bought that dip and did not get scared, lucky you. And I had another post of that sort right here. Imagine selling your XRP below $1.19. And again, I've been posting the same sort of thing for a little bit because even before that, when things were dumping, I also posted, hey, you better lock in right now. And another post right here. Because all I keep saying in these videos is buy the freaking dip. Don't be a little whiny ass. They're trying to shake you out. And I mean, if I just went all in on XRP, fully all in, some people are saying, no, it's way too late. And I keep telling you, really, it's not. If you think about a broader market, we're so freaking early. People keep forgetting, oh, $2 is so high. Shut your ass up. We're nowhere near the freaking top. And I'm betting a lot of money on it. So yeah, yeah, I could be wrong, but my money's on it because I don't see, there's nobody in the world that could tell me that this was the top, that this is where we end up. No. We're going so much freaking higher. But yeah, that's about it for my thoughts. Put the notification bell on so whenever something crazy happens, you're notified. That's the most important part. Because right now is where the crypto market gets a little bit wonky, right? Let's talk very, very soon when something crazy happens.